You're out in the middle of the bush and you're going to make this 20-metre sculpture on the sand at Tamarama. How much timber are we going to need? You know, you can only do so many rough calculations. Every tree is slightly different size, you know.
Are we going to have enough wood?
Is it going to burn? Is it going to burn simultaneously?
Oh, Nicole, I knew it was going to burn.
I know, but really, like, we don't really know what's going to happen.
Nicole, I knew it.
You don't really know.
Yeah, but we knew
like,
it was.
We knew, but like, we didn't even know what it would look like. We really wanted the city kids and people in the city in general to be able to have a bonfire on the beach. It was not an easy task to make it happen, you know, like there was a lot of background work that went into it that, you know, with the council, with the sculpture by the sea mob, you know, with the cultural side of things, you know, there was layers upon layers to make that actual fire what it was. The amount of love that had been put into the work, I think people found it really difficult to understand that you would burn something and it could be so ephemeral in nature, and it is about that moment and that connection, and that's the thing that you take with you. You don't take the artwork, it doesn't need that permanence to it. It's the memory and the conscious memory that you carry and the story that you can then pass on that becomes the important part. There was months in the preparation, you know, days to build it and then just minutes to burn. Like, we live in a time now where our mobs are all living off country on other people's country, and it's about bringing everyone together, you know, and bringing First Nations mob together as well to practice culture and connect with each other and with the earth. And I think these sorts of things are a really nice way that we can all come together like that and, you know, reimagine the places and spaces that we live and then share it back with the wider community. I think that for me, it's really empowering that all First Nations mob are there and they pretty much owned Tamarama Beach. Like, they were there and they were like, yeah, we're lighting this up.
At the end of the day, we lit a fire and we sat around and we yarned.
Yeah.
You know, you sing or you
play music.
You sort out your
business.
What happened? Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And that was what happened on that Friday night after the fire was lit. Business was sorted out in everyone's individual way, where the children played and they jumped around and they laughed, where other people over here were chatting about them remembering when they were young fellas and lighting the fires on the beach with their girlfriends and, you know, their panel vans, and so many people remembered different stories about lighting fires.
My name is Charles Madden, known around the city as Chicka. I'm an Aboriginal artist. For many, many years I've done ceramics, and the main type thing I put on them is rock art from the Sydney Basin. The rock art that we see here today, folks, is very, very important to the Aboriginal culture. Not only this rock art that's on display here, which is brilliant, but all the rock art within the Sydney Basin. It tells great stories. We have here today the whale shark. It's a rock art engraving that's been there for thousands of years. Folks, enjoy the scene.
The sound of the children was extraordinary. I mean, I remember I grew up in the bush, of course, that like bonfires and lighting fires, clearing fires, or the fire clearing process. So it was nothing new to me, but his children were so delighted. The sound, oh, look at this, look at this. It was like they had never seen that before. The joy in their voice was something that I'll never forget.
At one point, I looked up and all around, like Tamarama Headland, all of the people were on their balconies. Yeah. They were all out and they were all enjoying, this fire, this elemental connection to nature. And I often look up there and wonder what they're doing because no one's on their balconies. And I was like, yes, we got them on their balconies.
As always, our part of the burning finished and people coming up to you, I couldn't believe how emotional people were. I mean, of course we were, and how happy they were to have seen something like that, and also how they wanted to stay around. People were stoking it. They were actually throwing extra bits of timber on. People really wanted to chat. It was like, we're here for the long haul now. We're not going home.
People were laying there for hours, and actually, a man was meditating in the centre for quite a long time as well. So there was all these other stories that start to unfold around or unravel around what you actually do, that you have no idea that that's actually going to happen until you do it. So, the biggest and most important things for these works is that they do create community, they create memory, they create places in our spirits that will hold a place for the rest of our lives. So, and I think, from talking with people and yarning with them further, that you find how special these moments are in their lives. And it might just be, a couple of hours on the beach, but those memories last lifetimes, and now hundreds of people's lifetimes. And then, they can tell their kids about it. And hopefully, in the future we'll be able to have more fires on the beach, just like Mob did since time immemorial.